The moment you stop chasing her, something strange begins to happen. She may not say it, she may act cold, she may pretend your silence means nothing. But deep inside, a question starts burning in her mind. Why isn't he trying anymore? And that question is powerful, because the man who begs becomes predictable. The man who explains too much becomes ordinary. But the man who quietly steps back becomes a mystery. Hello everyone, welcome to the Magnetic Masculinity channel. In this video, you will discover why ignoring her is not about playing childish games. It is about reclaiming your power, mastering your emotions, and becoming the kind of man she can no longer control with distance, silence, or attention. Stay until the end, because once you understand this Stoic strategy, you will never chase love the same way again. Now let's get started. Part 1. The moment you stop chasing. Most men believe that the more attention they give a woman, the more she will value them. Experience teaches the opposite. The harder you chase, the less mysterious you become. Every unanswered message makes you send another. Every moment of silence convinces you to explain yourself again. Without realizing it, you slowly hand over your emotional freedom. A Stoic man understands something that many never do. People rarely appreciate what is always available. This is not manipulation. It is human nature. When your entire emotional world revolves around someone else's reactions, you stop living your own life. Your happiness depends on whether she replies, smiles, or chooses you. And that is the moment you lose your power, not because she took it, but because you willingly gave it away. Marcus Aurelius once reminded himself that we suffer more from our judgments than from reality. The pain is not created by her silence. It is created by the meaning you attach to it. When you stop chasing, something remarkable happens. For the first time, your attention returns to the only person you can truly control, yourself. And that quiet shift changes far more than she can see, because what begins as silence on the outside soon becomes unshakable strength within. And that inner transformation is exactly what makes people notice you differently. Part 2. Scarcity creates value. Desperation destroys it. There is a truth that many men discover too late. The more desperately you seek someone's attention, the less valuable your attention appears. Think about it. What do people usually protect the most? The things that are rare, the things they cannot easily replace. Yet many men make themselves available every hour of every day, believing constant presence is proof of love. It isn't. It often becomes proof of fear. Fear of being forgotten, fear of losing her, fear that if they stop trying for even a moment, everything will fall apart. A Stoic man refuses to live from that fear. He understands that his value does not increase by demanding attention. It grows when his life becomes so meaningful that his peace no longer depends on another person's approval. Ironically, this is often when people begin to notice him. Not because he is playing games, not because he suddenly became cold, but because confidence has a quiet gravity. It does not beg, it does not chase, it simply exists. When you stop trying to convince someone of your worth, you create space for them to wonder about it on their own. And curiosity is far more powerful than persuasion. But there is one mistake that ruins this strategy for almost every man, and most never realize they are making it until it is too late. Before we continue, take a moment to ask yourself one question. Have you ever lost yourself trying to keep someone else? If this message speaks to your experience, let me know by writing "I choose myself" in the comments. I'd love to know who's watching this journey with me. And if you're seeking timeless wisdom on self-mastery, emotional strength, and Stoic philosophy, subscribe to the channel and join a community of men and women who are learning to build a life that no longer depends on anyone else's approval. Now let's uncover the mistake that causes most men to lose both their peace and the person they're trying so hard to keep. Part 3. The greatest mistake: pretending instead of transforming. This is where most men get it wrong. They hear the advice, ignore her, and immediately turn it into a performance. They stop replying to messages on purpose. They disappear for days. They pretend to be busy. They hope that silence alone will make her come back. But forced distance is easy to recognize. People can sense when your silence is simply another way of asking for attention. That is not strength. It is desperation wearing a different mask. A Stoic man does not ignore someone to create anxiety. He creates a life so meaningful that he no longer feels compelled to chase what cannot be controlled. There is a profound difference. One man is constantly thinking, "I hope she notices my silence." The other is so deeply engaged in building his character, his purpose, and his peace that whether she notices or not no longer defines his day. That difference changes everything, because real confidence cannot be performed. It quietly reveals itself in your decisions, your patience, your boundaries, and in the calm way you walk away from situations that cost you your self-respect. Ironically, this is often the moment when people begin to see your value more clearly. Not because you became unavailable, but because you finally became complete. And once a person realizes they can no longer control your emotions, something unexpected begins to happen. They start wondering whether they ever truly understood you at all. That is where the balance of power quietly begins to shift. And in the next lesson, you'll discover why the strongest man in the room is often the one who says the least. Part 4. Silence is powerful. Only when it comes from peace. There is a kind of silence that pushes people away, and there is another kind of silence that draws them closer. The difference is invisible, yet everyone can feel it. The first silence is filled with expectation. You are waiting for your phone to light up. You keep checking if she has viewed your story. Every passing hour feels like a test of your worth. That is not silence. That is emotional noise. The second silence is entirely different. It is born from peace. You wake up with goals that have nothing to do with chasing someone's attention. You invest your time in your health, your work, your purpose, and your character. Your days become full, not because you are trying to look important, but because your life genuinely matters to you. And something remarkable happens. The energy that once went into seeking validation is transformed into quiet confidence. People notice it without you saying a single word. They notice that you no longer rush to explain yourself. They notice that rejection no longer shakes your identity. They notice that your happiness cannot be negotiated. This is why Stoicism has endured for centuries. It teaches that the strongest position is never to control another person's heart, but to govern your own mind. Because once your inner world becomes steady, the opinions, attention, or absence of others lose their power over you. And that is the moment you become truly free. In the final lesson, you'll discover the paradox that almost no one understands. The more you stop trying to be chosen, the more naturally people begin choosing you. Part 5. The greatest victory is no longer needing to be chosen. In the end, this was never really about making her chase you. That idea is far too small. The greatest victory is reaching a place where your peace no longer depends on whether anyone stays or leaves. Most people spend years trying to become more attractive to others. The Stoic man spends those same years becoming more respectable to himself. And that changes everything. Because the moment you stop measuring your worth through someone else's attention, you begin to carry yourself differently. You speak with greater certainty. You make decisions with greater clarity. You walk away from disrespect without anger. You love without fear. And you let go without bitterness. Ironically, this is often the version of you that people find most compelling. Not because you have mastered the art of making others miss you, but because you have mastered the far more difficult art of not abandoning yourself. Remember this: the person who constantly seeks approval becomes a prisoner of other people's opinions. The person who learns to stand peacefully alone becomes impossible to manipulate. That is the hidden power of Stoicism. So if one day she decides to come back, welcome her only if she respects the man you have become. And if she never returns, keep walking. Because the journey was never about winning another person's heart. It was about reclaiming your own. When you reach that point, something extraordinary happens. Whether someone chooses you no longer determines the direction of your life. And paradoxically, that is often when your presence becomes unforgettable. Conclusion. Perhaps the greatest lesson was never about making someone chase you. It was about becoming a man who no longer needs to chase anyone. Because real strength is not measured by how many people choose you. It is measured by how peacefully you continue your journey when they don't. The Stoics understood a timeless truth. The only life you can truly master is your own. When you stop seeking constant validation and begin cultivating inner peace, confidence, and purpose, your relationships naturally become healthier. Whether someone stays or walks away, you remain whole. And that is a freedom no one can ever take from you. The lesson to take into your life. As you leave this video, don't ask yourself, how can I make someone miss me? Instead, ask a far more powerful question, am I becoming someone I would deeply respect? Spend less time chasing attention and more time building your character. Protect your peace. Set healthy boundaries. Invest in your body, your mind, your purpose, and your future. The more complete you become as a person, the less your happiness will depend on another person's choices. Remember this, the strongest man is not the one who is impossible to leave. He is the one who never abandons himself, no matter who leaves. If this message resonated with you, subscribe to the channel and join us on this journey of Stoic wisdom, emotional mastery, and personal growth. Every new subscriber helps support the creation of more thoughtful videos like this, and your support truly makes a difference. Thank you for taking the time to watch until the end of the video. See you in the next videos.